Hi people, today we are going to try to answer a question that is being deliberately avoided by many people right now. Was Yellowstone Season 4 a disappointment? Since the season has freshly wrapped up and we are still trying to sink in what has happened. It is not very easy to have a retrospective judgment on the season in general. That being said, we thought about the issue a lot over the past few days and concluded that Yellowstone Season 4 might not be as good as people assume. Yellowstone is one of those that has a magical atmosphere and charm that often clouds our fair judgment and objectivity. Since the series is highly captivating, we struggle to make a critical opinion on it. Even the bad scenes of Yellowstone are entertaining to watch, and we love even the worst plot developments since they are crafted beautifully by a talented director and a brilliant cast. Still, this doesn't mean that the series is immune from bad plot developments and scenes. Yes, overall, the show is better than most shows that are on air right now, and yet it is not perfect. To be honest, we feel like this imperfection of Yellowstone was more visible than ever during its season 4, which is a little bit concerning for the future of the show. We know that a lot of us, as the fans, are avoiding making any negative comments on Yellowstone since we love the series so much and don't want anyone else to assume we think otherwise. This love and respect toward the show, however, also comes with high expectations that are often ending up in disappointment. So, in a way, we can claim that we are to blame for Yellowstone Season 4 to fall flat, as we were wrong to have such high expectations. Yet, Yellowstone is the one that raised the bar too high. Thus, we feel like it is important to address our issues about Season 4 of this series. Yellowstone Season 4 started amazing, at least in terms of the rating of the show. The premiering episode of the season broke records by being watched by almost 11 million people. This was, however, mostly the success of Season 3, since it had an ending that made us speculate about the series for nearly 2 years. Season 3 ending was so epic that even people who had no interest in the Western genre or country life couldn't help but hook into the show just to see the hype around Season 3 final. Naturally, when Season 4 got released, millions sat in front of their TV to see how the cliffhanger at the end of the Season 3 will be resolved. Now, while waiting for Season 4, we had a lot of ideas about what will happen next. Most of these ideas were involving at least one Dutton being killed. The reason why was the fact that the attacks that took place at the end of the Season 3 were too big to survive. Since this is a show, we can understand one or two characters playing God and surviving extreme circumstances. However, having all three of them surviving as if nothing had happened is just too unbelievable. Therefore, when we saw Beth Dutton coming out of that exploded building with some burning on her skin, we got shocked and couldn't believe our eyes. Since Beth is a very beloved character, we were happy to see her alive, and yet we were also in disbelief as the show seemed to rely on the convenience factor a little bit too much. Think about another highly acclaimed show such as Game of Thrones. One of the strongest elements of that show was its fearless attitude when it comes to killing off its main characters if it's necessary. So far, we assumed Yellowstone had that boldness as well. However, Season 4 disappointed us by showing that Yellowstone isn't yet ready to lose its main cast members and relies on its brilliant scenario rather than actors, which is a shame. Another issue that we had with Yellowstone Season 4 was the season's pacing in general. This season felt like half of a season for the most part since we got shown some scenes but they led to nowhere. For instance, we watched John Dutton running for governor's office, which was an epic moment, but then nothing had happened regarding the issue. We didn't see even John discussing his campaigning process with anyone, as if running for such an important office is nothing. We also watched the sheriff of the town being killed in unexpected burglary, which was tragic. And yet, it also led nowhere but making John a so-called hero. We only heard a reporter calling him a hero, but other than that, we didn't see anyone from the public supporting him or any politician remarking on the case, which is absurd. How can such a big incident be treated as if it's a regular thing that everyone is accustomed to? It doesn't make any sense. Since some of the biggest plot twists of the show were treated as if they had no significance for the series, we assumed we will watch a series of plot twists in the final episode that will shake us to our core. However, we were wrong. For the most part in the season final, we watched Beth doing some bad things, having a completely fun service wedding while visiting prisoners without causing them any actual harm. At the very end of the episode, we watched a truly epic scene in which James had to kill his father, Garrett, because of Beth, and that was truly shocking. Still, up until coming to that moment, we watched so many unnecessary things that the overall episode could have consisted of just those last 10 minutes and nothing would have changed in the plot of the series. Do you agree with our criticism towards season 4 of Yellowstone? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Thank you for watching, see you at the next one.